Welcome to Mohsin's Learn Lab, Data Lovers. I'm Mohsin, and today we are diving into one of the most essential Excel skills, mastering cell referencing. We have the relative reference, the absolute reference, we have row constant and column constant. So when working with formulas in Excel, cell reference is one of the most important concepts you should know as a data analyst. Excel reference tells the cell where to find the data to use in a calculation. By default, Excel uses relative reference. By default, Excel uses relative reference. But sometimes you need a cell reference that does not change. That is called absolute reference. And to make a reference absolute, you just use a dollar symbol. So there are four main types of the referencing in Excel that we are going to consider in this video. The first one is relative reference, and we're going to make use of this simple data set. So assume that this is your data and you want to do relative reference. The first column there is quantity, the second one unit price and tax rate. Now mainly looking at this data, you discover that the tax rate has the same percentage, it's 55%, but the quantity and the unit price changes depending the economic situation at that time. So if you want to do a relative referencing using this data set, remember I told you that by default Excel uses relative reference. So it means that when you copy it to another cell, it does not change. When you copy it to another cell, it changes. It will automatically update itself. So you come to this column D2, start with your what? Equality sign, right? So let's say A2 plus what? Price, which is what? B2. Price, your enter. We have what? 60, right? So it means 10 plus 50 will give you 60. Now if we drag this down, we will see that Excel has what? Automatically updated order of those columns. So when you come to this D3, you have what? It's no longer A2, it's now A3. So Excel keeps updating it. As you go to the next column, Excel will stay updated. So by default, this is the one Excel uses. It just automatically updates the number by itself. You understand? Now, absolute reference. Now, absolute reference never changes. Yes. No matter where the formula is copied to, it doesn't change. And I'll tell you the reason why it doesn't change. It doesn't change because we lock the cell using dollar symbol. So in this E2 now, you press what your equality sign, right? Let's say we want to make use of our quality column A2 again times what? Now we will make use of our rate, that is fixed, remember, which is what? C2. Press F4 to lock it. So you discover that there is dollar sign before the column, which is C, and there is a dollar sign before the row, which is what? 2. You understand? So this means that you have locked this cell which is set 2. You have locked it. So once you click your what, enter, you have what, 0.5. So 10 times 5% will give you 0.5. Now let's drag and see what happens. When we come to this second one, we see that we have A3, but our A2 is still what, fixed. It didn't change. The only thing that changed is we got A3 from A2 to A3. If we go down, we see what we have, what, A4 there. You understand? So this is how to do absolute reference. So you just use F4 key to lock your cell when you are performing absolute reference. Now the next one is what? Row constant. Row constant. So here the row stays fixed, but the column changes. The row stays fixed, but the column changes. And we use what? The dollar before the row number, only the dollar. So what we'll be seeing here, instead of $2, we'll only be seeing $1. You understand? So in F2, you do what? We start with our equality sign. Let's also say we want to make use of this A2, right? Times what? A2 times C times our C and dollar sign 2, which is this. You see that we'll get similar thing with absolute. You see it. Now let's drag it down. I want to show you something here. So here now means we did what? Means row referencing. Here, row referencing. Our row is fixed, but the column changes. The row here is C2. The column that changes is A2. So if you go down, you see that the column changes to A3. If you go next one, you see that the column changes to A4. The last one for this video, constant, row constant. Now here the column stays what? Fixed, but the row changes. The column stayed fixed, but the row changes, and we still use dollar symbol before the column letter that we're interested in. So in this G2 we do what? Equality sign, right? Okay, now we have used A2 too much. Let's use B2. So let's say dollar sign B, dollar sign B2 times our C here times what? Our C 2.5. Can we drag? So here now you discover that when you come here, you have what? C3. C3 is 5%. If you come here, you have what? C4. But let's assume that we don't have anything here. And here we don't have anything. Do you see? That is changed. So what it means that when it gets to this B3, which is here, it's not saying 40 times 0 because there's nothing here. You get, which is 0. 30 times 0, which is what? 0. So if you learned something from this video, like, subscribe, share, and comment for more updates that will be dropping soon. Thank you. God bless you.